is everyone today? Oh, Marley got all excited because I said hi. Oh my gosh. Hi, everyone. How are you today? It was funny. So last night I was giving a lecture to a quilt guild, a really, really cool quilt guild that's in the Toronto area. And so I have a little clip of what is Twitch, and so I have a little clip of, hey, this is Twitch, and it's my intro for Twitch with all of the bloopers. And so he got all excited thinking that I was streaming, and so he insisted on getting into my lap while that was happening. Right, baby? I know, you're such a good baby. Hello, Anriel. How are you? Hello, Amber. Is everyone excited for Saturday? I'm excited for Saturday. I know Marley's excited for Saturday. He's hoping that people donate a bunch of money so that I pay attention to the dogs. Right? We are going to have a lot of fun. It's going to be amazing. And hopefully you get a call tomorrow, Anriel, and you get your machine and you can race. If not, there's always May. Hi, I know you're a very good boy. So, today, I'm super excited. We're going to finish this off. We're going to finish off our Loki quilts. And then tomorrow, I'm going to be making a post in both my Facebook group, the Quite Nerdy Quilters, and Anriel's Facebook group, the Cosmic Fabric Creations. And in those two posts, we're going to be asking you to post your quilt. Why are you kissing me? We're going to be asking you to post your finished quilt tops of your Lokis. And then next Thursday, we're going to start the stream off by doing the giveaway for the gift cards. I'm so excited. Hello, Catherine! Oh, wait, working on which quilt? This one? The Loki quilt? Yeah, hopefully they do. I'm crossing my fingers that they have your quilt. They have your machine, Anriel. I'm crossing my fingers. I was thinking what we're going to do over the next couple of weeks. So, first off, I think next week... Oh, this one? What? So, Catherine, talk to me. What problems are you having? So, let's is it problems with other things that are not pattern related that I may be able to help with? Is it pattern related? It's... Oh my gosh. Dog, stop kissing me. I love you very much. I know. I don't taste like bacon. I swear I don't taste like bacon. He's just very happy. So my husband's been teaching him if he wants pets to give us kisses. So I think that's why he wants to kiss me all the time so that I stop and pet him. I'm sorry. This is no longer a quilting stream. This is now a Marley stream. Nikki, I don't know why he thinks I taste so yummy. Oh, I love you. I know, you're a good boy, aren't you? He says, yeah, I'm a good boy. You're a very good boy. I know. So I was thinking, for next week, what we should do for next Monday is we should, stop kissing me. I don't want you to kiss me anymore. Stop it. Next week, I was thinking, why don't we do a stream about what to do with all the scraps? I mean, and then we could do that for a stream, what to do with all these scraps. Because there are a lot of scraps that are left over with my pixel quilts. So I could talk about, well, do you have a bunch of scraps left over? This is what you can do. And we can turn them into a double-sided placemat. For the scrap, I think we can get two placemats out of it. We'll see. So I'm thinking we can do that. So we'll pick the winners for the gift certificates next week, and then we can do take the scraps and turn them into placemats. I'm waiting for Catherine to say what. This stuff. Okay, so pretty much all the seams are very straight. Okay, very angled. Yes. Okay, you discovered you made a cutting error and messed up your recuts. No. Okay, your seams are fine. If they're angled, and your seams are fine. Okay? But you made a cutting error and then messed up your recuts. That sucks. Honestly, it doesn't have to be straight. It could be straight-ish. Like angled all the way down, that's fine. What's happening whenever you're getting stuff like that? Okay, so if you're sewing And if you're finding that as you're sewing, that it's not quite straight all the way through, if it's kind of like if it kind of does like a jagged angle thing, what that means is when you're putting it in, you're putting it in like this. And you're putting it in, and then you're running it like this. If that happens as you're sewing it, you're still sewing a 1/4 inch, but what's happening is you're getting that angle in there, and so it looks almost jagged. When that happens, stop, pick up, pick this up, move it, and then put it back down again, and then sew. If it starts to do this, or if it starts to do that, stop, just completely stop, pick up your presser foot, fix your fabric, and then put it down again. So that is what could be causing the angle cuts, the angle sewing. Oh my gosh, I can't speak today. This is gonna be an interesting stream. But that could be what's causing that. Yeah. So while they're no, oh, Catherine. Did you not have your own hand sanitizer? I actually carry my own hand sanitizer so that if I go into a store, I actually take out my hand sanitizer and then I show them my own hand sanitizer that I'm using. It's not a matter of you have to use theirs. It's a matter of they need to see that if you're touching anything that your hands are sanitized, which I see nothing wrong with. So I know that I'm sensitive to some things, which is why I bring my own wherever I go. So something you may want to do that. You may want to get your own that is that's good, and then oh, fantastic, and take it out and then use that. So that sucks. That sucks. You had to go get some more fabric for the cuts. It is unfortunately sometimes whenever we really mess up the cuts, it is. Oh, left it in the car. Yeah, oh yeah, and you probably didn't want to go back into the car. You thought it would be fine to just use theirs. Yeah, that's understandable. In the future, if you take a picture of the cuts that you've made and send it to me, if I'm not busy, I can take a look at it and let you know if it's salvageable or not. Because a lot of times, even if you miscut, it is, sometimes it's salvageable, and you may not have to go and get more fabric. And it may be okay. It may be okay, unless you cut it like in all 1-inch pieces, but sometimes it's okay. But you have new fabric, which is great, and that is awesome. So I'm excited because today we're finishing this off. You guys ready for the last steps? Now, you don't, I know I said by the end of this month, so the end of this month is next Wednesday. As long as you finish and post it before the stream starts next Thursday. So if you don't finish it by next Wednesday, that's okay. Next Thursday, I will go ahead and I'll download, I'll copy and paste all the people that have posted on both of those threads on both my Facebook group and Anreel's Facebook group. And then we'll put that in there. And then I will pick the winners live next Thursday. And then we will play with our scraps. So if you're doing this Loki quilt along with us, you can also then do the next step, which is all the scrap stuff. So then after that, I was thinking, I had some ideas with our latest Able Gamers fundraising. For those of you that don't watch me on Twitch, if you just watch here on YouTube, we've been doing some sewing races over on Twitch for a couple of times. This is our third one. It's actually this Saturday. We're going to be racing by sewing together 2 charm packs. And the winner of the race gets a really cool prize package from Moray, Clover, and Northcott. And it is, you know what? Pin cushions are a great idea with all those scraps. And so one of the excitement things I wanted to build was make a foundation paper piecing pattern. Well, I finished it today completely. So I finished this on stream on Monday. So this is the foundation paper piecing pattern that I made. And I completely finished the instructions of the pattern this morning, and I sent it to my pattern testers. And then I'm going to see what they say. So far they said it looks good, but we'll see whenever they make it, if they can follow along with it. Basically, anyone that donates to Able Gamers is going to get a a free pattern. They're going to get that pattern, that Triforce pattern. We hit $1,500 last night. That means by hitting the $1,500 mark, I have to make a second pattern. If we hit the $2,000 mark, I have to make a third pattern. And I will be sending an email to every single person that donated to Able Gamers with all of those foundation paper piecing patterns for their use. And I'm really, really excited. I think Nikki has made a really good suggestion in my Discord that I may look at tomorrow. We may try to make a TARDIS. I may make a TARDIS. I'm very excited. So I'm going to try to do that tomorrow. But in other words, donate to Able Gamers, you get all that stuff. So I was thinking then, after next week, the second week of April, why don't we make the Triforce together? We can make the Triforce on stream together. For those of you that haven't foundation paper pieced. I know it was, Nikki, but I have to do straight lines for right now because you cannot do curved lines with foundation paper piecing unless you do like a whole bunch of lines and figure it out into straight lines. So yeah, no, that's why I want to do it as an easy breakout. I don't want to have to worry about curved line things. So it is something that we can do. Oh wait, hold on. Sorry, my husband's out, and I said, message me when you're getting ready to come home, and I'll make sure that I'm doing all these things, that I'm editing it out. Right? So I'm thinking next week. So next week we'll do the what to do with your scraps. The week after, we will do the Triforce. The week after, it's whatever I design tomorrow. And if I have to do a whole bunch of foundation, well, then we'll do a couple of weeks of the videos of the foundation paper piecing, and then I can post those. So the people that want to make them have the videos to then follow along. So I'm excited about that one. Yeah, the curves go into the EPPs, not the foundation. So, all right. So with that, I'm gonna get started. I'm gonna do a couple of some introduction stuff for the filming, and then I'm gonna start sewing. And then after I start sewing, I'll let my husband know he can actually come in and make some noise. We don't have to worry about that. So, all right, let's move to here. All right. Our rows are done. Because our rows are done, now we can move on to the next step of the actual sewing of the rows. Now, whenever I combine them, I put them in the opposite order. So this is actually rows 1 and 2 sewn together, 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 7 and 8, and so on and so on. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to reverse this and count how many rows I have. Because remember, when we have an odd number, we always want to leave this first one out because this one isn't combined. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, that's perfect. So we have an even number. So I have 8 rows. Perfect. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to group them in sets of 2. And I'm going to sew these together in sets of 2. Because just like whenever I did the initial rows, I did sets of 2 and then pinned them together. That's exactly what I'm going to do right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sew these together and pin them together. Sew these together, then pin them. Sew these together, pin them. Sew these together, pin them. Sew these 2 together, pin them. Sew these 2 together, pin them, and then I'll sew these last 2 together and pin it, and then we'll come back for the top reveal minus the borders, and then start on those borders. Okay, so let me switch that, and let me tell my husband he can come back. Fantastic. Let me get some water. Oh, I did the wrong video, the wrong There we go. All right. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I gotta say before we actually get into the sewing. Yep, okay. Alright, so I am sewing these. Now, just like with the other ones... Oh, here, I should probably mention this. Let me get in my scrap. I had to clean all this up yesterday because I was doing a presentation, so I couldn't have anything here. I had to get rid of my sewing machine. Now, when you're sewing these together, it's the same thing as sewing those strips. So when you're sewing the initial strips at the beginning, you just want to sew those together. All right, so let's do that. And of course, there he is, just as I thought I was going to start saying some stuff, right? So yeah, so if you guys can think of anything else, let me know. So we got the TARDIS. I mean, I could take some of my patterns, take some of my my pixel pattern line and turn those into foundation paper piecing. I mean, that's a nice, like I could take Cake Bob behind me and turn that into paper piecing. Are you proud of me? I'm taking my pins out as I'm going along and not sewing over them. Yeah, and this is all this is. This is all you're doing now is you're just sewing these rows together. So, Catherine, have you gotten this far with your Loki? Have you gotten your rows together and then now sewing your rows? Or are you still working up to this point? There we go. All right, so we grab those two. And now we're chatting. How was everyone's week? How is everyone doing? Where? Oh, there they are. I lost my scissors. I lost my scissors. I lost the scissors. Right, and then I need this. Fantastic. See, so that's not bad at all. So wait, so you did everything else right? Oh, did you only cut some poorly then? You only miscut some things? Now remember, if you miscut, and let's say if you have a 3.5 and you cut them at 3 1/4, you can recut those into the 2s, and you at least have the 2s that you don't have to do. Was it the combined pieces? See, at least it wasn't everything. At least you didn't miscut like everything there. See, I had a habit whenever I first started quilting. I actually would always buy an extra ½ yard of fabric no matter what it was, because I know me and I was convinced that I was going to mess the whole thing up. And that's actually how I got my stash. That's how I got a lot of my stash, is from buying extra from projects. Plus, fabric collecting is a hobby. You can't say otherwise. You cannot say otherwise. Fabric collecting is a serious hobby. It's an important hobby. Oh my gosh. It was the last bit of the 3.5 and that's horrible. And you didn't have any extra fabric? That sucks. So it was only like a small little part of the fabric you needed to. There we go. Oh, that's right. The whole thing. And then there. There we go. So how is everyone? Like I said, how was your week? Other than cutting poorly for fabric, which I know everyone has done at one point or another. You know, I am super excited to get back some of my templates. To get some of my templates back in stock again. Because whoops, there we go. Really? Oh, okay. So, okay, they're not laughing in a laughing at you way. They're laughing in a, wait, you've cut before. I can't believe you actually messed up on the cutting way. Okay, that's okay. As long as they're not, like, making fun of you kind of thing. Like, making fun of you in jest is okay. Hello, Erica. How are you today? Are you ready for Saturday? I am also glad you are no longer at work then. But do you have your charm packs? Do you have your charm packs and a semi-plan for what you're gonna do for your race? No, I have not. I don't send it till Friday. Because remember, I leave it until tomorrow to for everyone to be registered, and then I send it right after the stream tomorrow. So I'll get everything set up tomorrow, and then I'll send the Zoom link tomorrow night. You'll get it tomorrow. There we go. And there we go. There's that. Let's go back over here. You know, I just realized as I was reaching over the camera, this is the first video that I've done where I'm showing the new tattoos a little bit. Because it's been so cold here, I've had to wear long sleeves because my studio's in the basement. There we go. Hey, Scott! Yeah, I hope you get a chance to watch us too. Yeah, Scott, no! You're not racing! It's okay. It's totally okay. Oh my gosh, Erica, I love you. You're getting your hair done so you look good. Are you guys excited about Tiffany hosting? So I had not met Tiffany before the beginning of this week. She was suggested to me by Steve. And for those of you that don't watch me on Twitch, Steve is the COO of Able Gamers, which is the charity we're raising money for. And after having a Zoom practice with her, she seems perfect. Like, I cannot wait. Okay, that looks good. Yeah, I think it's good. I don't know if I'll do this shade of gray in the future. I may go darker in the, because I normally do a darker gray. I wanted to switch it up a little bit for this one. So Tiffany Witcher is a streamer on Twitch. She is also a voiceover actress and is a cosplayer. So she knows how to sew. She's never quilted, but she knows how to sew. She also is in the video game business because she's a voiceover actress in games, but she also streams on Twitch. So she's funny, she's good, she's going to be an amazing host, and I cannot wait. If you may have seen her avatar, because she's more well known for her avatar than she is for her actual body of work. Her avatar is actually a little purple witch. And she actually has that as her character whenever she streams and does hosting stuff, and it's really, really cute. Okay, well then put them in the Discord conversation. I actually do like the idea of the TARDIS. Now, of course, remember, we hit the $1,500. So I have to make another pattern tomorrow. If we hit $2,000, well then I've got to make another pattern on Monday. And to anyone that is donating to Able Gamers, I'm going to be sending them an email with the patterns to do with as they want. And for those of you that weren't here at the beginning, next week's stream we're going to be picking the winners for this quilt along, and then I'm going to be doing a what to do with the scraps. So hey, you've got leftover scraps. Let's turn them into like a single sheet of fabric that we can then turn into placemats, placemats. Or that you can use for backing. That's another thing. We may have enough fabric for backing. Reading is hard. Reading is very hard. Okay, well, I didn't see that you did. Erica, I cannot wait. She sounds like she's going to be amazing. And just from chatting with her, it's going to be awesome. And she's very excited, too. She is super into raising money for charity. And it's been a while since she was a host of anything. So that's why she's like all excited about this. Which makes me excited. Okay. Yep, that looks good. She did. She said, oh. No. I was joking about, you said you did for the patterns. That's why I was yelling at you, woman. But yes, no, Tiffany is going to be amazing. I have given her permission to make fun of me and cause chaos as much as she wants. And if you can't make it on Saturday and you want to watch the race, I may upload it to YouTube. I have not made that decision yet, if I'm going to or not. We'll decide afterwards. Yeah, no, it's throwing me off too. The different name colors are throwing me off. What was I gonna say? Crap! I forgot what I was gonna say. Man. Oh well, I'll think of it, I'm sure. hate it whenever I forget what I was gonna say, and then I have, yeah. I know! I think it was something to do with Tiffany, but I don't remember. Yep, that looks good. It's getting there. There we go. All right, there's that one. One more set. I need to decide, am I just going to talk about adding another border, or do I want to add another border myself? I think it depends on what time I finish adding that first border on. If it's like a little before 7, yeah, I'll go ahead and add another border on myself. We'll figure it out. But if it's not, if it's 7 o'clock or after, what I may do is just talk about it and then not actually do that. And that's the last one. I think that's one of my pet peeves for pixel quilting. Whenever people make pixel quilts and they don't finish it, they don't add an extra border around the edges, and they have the pixels go all the way to the edge. To me, it looks almost unfinished, kind of like whenever you have a picture, just a picture hanging on a wall, and you don't have it in a frame of any kind. It looks okay, it just could look better. No, I'm not calling you out, Sapphira. Why would I be calling you out? There we go. I would be obvious about it. I would be obvious about it. I would tell you. Like, I have no problems with calling people out. You know that. Speaking of, Andrew, were you surprised? This was the first Thursday in like a month and a half. I haven't been like, hey, are you free to be here to take over in case Miss Elvain's gotta go? And now I'm like, well, if her vacation took a brain, then... I said her, oh my god. I said her vacation took a brain, didn't I? Words are hard. Words are so hard. Yes, this is the easy one. It is Saturday that's going to be the hard one. Do you have all your timers ready? Man. Words are so hard. No, my brain's not on vacation. My vacation's not on my brain. My brain's not on vacation. I just can't say words. They get all mixed up in my head. Because words are hard. Oh, I love you. Oh, I just realized I never actually put mod chat on. Okay, there's nothing in mod chat. Fantastic. Okay. Yeah, no, because Nikki, so Nikki's got an amazing app to take care of all the timers. And then I'll log you in. To Tiltify. So that you can see all the stuff. Oh, and the catalog for quilt stores. I did. Oh, I never sent you the letter, did I? God dang it. I meant to send you the letter before the stream start, and I forgot. I gotta send you the letter later. So the catalog, I did make a few changes because I popped it in the Wookie Cookie Discord, and they made a few suggestions for words and for fonts. So I went ahead and made some updates to it. My email today? Did you open my email so that my click-through percentage is good for my email retention. Does everyone know what I'm talking about? I send an email like once a month on my email list. Nikki, have you never signed up for my email list? Apparently. Oh, Miss Sylvain! Yeah, I send an email like once a month, and so I sent the email out today, basically just talking about the race this Saturday. I'm just checking the placement of all of the things, and it's good. Thanks, Nikki! No, I love this green. This green is I love it so much. This is the green I make sure to include in all of my Loki kits. So if you buy a kit from me of Loki, that is the fabric that you get. Oh, Miss Elvain, that is funny. So yes, no, today is a brain vacay for everyone. I completely agree. All right, almost done with the quilts, and we can show it off. See, this is the easy part. This is the part that's like, okay, I'm finished, I'm done. All I'm doing at this point now is checking for, checking to make sure my pieces are right. I haven't flipped anything. Oh, I've got to remember after I get this together while I'm talking, before I do the border, I need to talk about if you flip a piece. You know what? I feel that. I really feel that today's a Monday. Oh my gosh. Tuesday, everyone was like, it's Thursday, right? Wait, it's only Tuesday? Alright. Then back to that. Look at his little horns. Aren't his little horns just adorable? Oh shoot, I just remembered I'm supposed to have a Zoom thing tomorrow night with my rescue group for the Chihuahua rescue, and I forgot to make it. I gotta make it and send it. Hey mods, don't let me forget to do that tonight, please. Please don't let me forget to make and send that tonight. Right? Like, I volunteered. I asked, because we had another hard week this week in the rescue. So I asked, I was like, so do we need another get-together Friday? And everyone's like, yes. I'm like, okay. Oh, it's in, Oh, do you mean the letter? The letter to the stores I'm doing? I gotta send it to you. I have to give you access to it. So it's the catalog, which is in Photoshop. You've got to look at the catalog for the front and the back of the catalog. And that's in Photoshop. And then I was going to send you the letter that's going to accompany the catalog. Yes, the front and back of the catalog. The trifold catalog. It's in Photoshop. Oh, Scott, that sucks. I just read what you said about work with the reorganizing and everything. Yeah, that sucks. No, there weren't more words, which is why you were like, oh, I didn't read it. I'm like, you didn't read it? There's weren't that many words in there. Oh, I forgot to change camera angle again, guys. I get on a roll and I forget to change the camera angles. No, the letter's the big thing. So what I'll do is when I finish, I'll send you the letter so that you can take a look at it whenever you get a chance this weekend. I should probably go through and do another edit of it too. There he is. That who's the cutest little Loki? Who's the cutest little trickster? Oops. I missed a pin. Man. Oh, that's probably a good thing that that wasn't on camera. That was a big yawn. Go, almost. There we are. This is it. Final sewing line in making of the actual quilt. After this, we'll take a look at the borders. Oh, actually, you know what? No, let's go there. Let's go there because I'm going to go from ironing this in order to showcasing it for you. So here's the last ironing. Now, I actually thought of this while I was piecing this together. As you're putting your rows together, remember to double check to make sure your pieces have not been flipped. If your pieces have been flipped and you're discovering it then, I do have a video all about how to fix flipped pieces within your quilt. If you are watching this with the condensed replay, I've got the link down below. If you're watching this live, you can just go to my YouTube and search flipped pieces, and it'll come right up. Alright, so our trickster god main section of the quilt is finished. Now it's time for borders. So let's take a look at the pattern. Our pattern has us putting on the borders on the top and the bottom first, then the left and the right. I do this for a reason. So all of my quilts will always measure under 42 inches for the width. That's because if you don't put any additional borders on, you can just use any old width of fabric for the backing, and you don't have to sew backing together or get wide backed fabric. And it's also easier, again, this is why I do it this way for the borders. If you do decide to add on extra borders, you want to do it in the same exact order. This way, you don't have to sew pieces together for the top and the bottom again. So let's go ahead and do that. So we're going to take our quilt. Whoops. I hit that, my side camera. Oops, that's the left and the right. So we're going to take our quilt. And I'm going to do the cheating way of doing borders. Now, I do have a video all about how to do borders of quilts. I am going to show you the cheating method, which is I actually show you in the video. I show you the cheating method, and I show you the method you're supposed to be doing, especially if you put your quilts into competitions. I like the easy cheating method personally. So iron out your fabric. It's very, very important that you iron your fabric and you have all of those creases out. Make sure you line it up so that your selvage, remember the selvage is the little part on the end of your fabric that's got, they have some dots or some discolorings. Make sure your selvage is all the way off. And then fold it together, right sides to right sides. And then we're going to pin it in place just like we did when we were sewing our rows together. So remember, we're doing our rows together, we're sewing every single seam. So I'm going along and I'm finding where the seams are, and I'm just smoothing it and pinning it. I'm not stretching the fabric on the bottom or the top. I'm just smoothing it along and then pinning it. And I'm going to go through and do this all the way down. And when I get to the end, I'm going to trim off the very, very end. We do not want to have a huge tail of a piece hanging onto our quilt that we have to worry about whenever we're sewing. So when you get all the way down, making sure you do the whole thing. Oh, here we go. Here's a big space where it's a big gap of 6.5 inches from seam to seam. So I'm going to take a pin and put it in the middle, right there. Because we don't want to have a huge gap where there's no pins. Now you can also do this with clips. You do not have to use pins. You can use clips as well. So then I'm going to trim that. And I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it over in my scrap pile that we're going to use later. Alright, so I'm going to turn this around and do this the other way. Alright, so same thing. I'm going to iron this and then sew this on to the, well, sew it, pin it on to the other side. I mean, it's fine. Are you moving all of my patterns around and making sure that they're all lined up? It's fine. There's a reason why I give you the raw files. If you were OCD it, that's perfectly fine with me. Now, I don't know if you noticed, I did, and the same size. Yeah, some of them are a little bit of a different size. That's okay. You're making it better. Something I did change the font for the speech bubble where it said Quiltoni.com. Something that Art suggested. And I changed some of the wording because of suggestions that the cookies made. It's funny, Ruby does not like the word lecturer. She thinks it's weird. But I'm like, but that's what it's called whenever you're a quilt lecture, when you lecture on the stuff. There we go. Okay, scrap goes over here. Now, I'm not going to sew this yet. I'm going to take this and I am going to move this to my sewing machine. But I'm going to take this opportunity to now get number 9 together. Because I do have to do some sewing for the left and the right. So there should be 3 strips left that you have cut. So from these 3 strips, we're going to take one and we're going to cut it in half. And then I'm going to take this half piece and I'm going to sew it to each of the other strips. Now, when we do this, we want to make sure that we cut off the salvages. You do not want to include those salvages whenever you're doing that. So first thing I'm going to do is line this up, trim that salvage off, and then pin it into place. There we are. So I'm going to have to sew this one, and let's do the other one. So I'm taking my fabric, laying it out, lining up right side to right side, and lining that salvage up so that I can trim it and get a nice straight line, and then pinning it. So that after I sew the edges, so that now I'm going to go to my sewing machine and I'm going to sew along the top and the bottom, and then I'm going to sew 2 of these, and then I will come back and show you the next step of it. Ugh. What? Why? What do you mean it's different than what you've seen from the other day? And what do you mean you kill me? No, I haven't touched any of those patterns. It's all there. Hey, BJ. Like, I haven't touched the pattern part of it. Oh. It's different than what you saw the other day. So that is the updated edited one. That is the updated edited one. I have updated that. I mean, I couldn't figure out how to snap to it to make it the same size. I'm so used to Canva now, where it just literally snaps to it super, super easy, and I'm just like, it's not letting me know it's the exact size. It's fine. It's fine. No one's gonna notice. No one's gonna notice when I print it out. Shush you and your exclamation pins. I mean, I tried to use the guides. Can you tell I gave up on the whole I'm never going to sew over pins on YouTube? is why you get the big bucks, right? This is why I pay you the tons and tons of money. Because I make a ton of money, apparently, is what people think. So that must mean you make a ton of money. Oh, that's so funny. That is so funny. Right? Right? I mean, I still now and then, whenever I know it's not going to be sped up, and I can kind of like skirt over the issue. Oh, let me put this back over here and grab this and put this here. I have a sleeping cat, and I have a sleeping dog. Marley is snoring, and Obsidian is passed out, like super passed out. Ugh. Okay, once we have sewn this, now we need to iron it. So we're going to iron the top and the bottom. I'm going to iron these borders away from my main quilt. So we're going to iron these away. Once we iron both of these away, then I'm going to come back and then I will trim it up and show you how to trim it. I'm also, while I'm ironing these, I am going to go ahead and iron these as well. So when I iron it, all I am doing is just ironing that. It can go to one side or open. It is completely up to you. I need water. Oops. I'm having difficulties. Can you tell? There we go. There we go. So there's those. Let me iron these. There we go. Okay, so we've got these all ironed. So now what I want to do is square these up. I do not have to square up my entire quilt. All I need to do is square up this little bit. So I'm going to line this up and square that up for the edge. And then the same thing down here. So I'm going through all four corners and I'm trimming up these edges. That one's actually not bad. And then these two, flipping it over. And once you trim up these four corners, then we're going to go back through and add the left and the right. And then we'll talk about adding additional borders. Go. So it's the same exact thing that I just did, with the top and the bottom, except I have a combined piece. So my personal preference whenever I have a combined piece is I like finding the short end. excuse me, I like finding the short end, the side that's the half that I've sewn onto here, and I like to start with that, because sometimes if I don't start with that one, I may get just like a little chunk kind of on the end, and I don't like that. I like it to look as even as possible, just because I'm weird. So all I'm going to be doing then is starting with that shorter end and moving all the way down and just pinning on the left and the right of these, sewing it, ironing it. So when I iron these two, I'm going to be ironing them away from the quilt, just like I ironed the top and the bottom. And then I'm going to come back, trim those edges, and then we'll stop the speed camera and talk about additional borders. Fantastic. See, now I can't wait to go back and look at Discord to see what additional ideas people have for foundation paper piecing. But yeah, I really could do all of my patterns. Excuse me. They really could turn all of my patterns just into like a 6-inch quilt block. And technically, the Triforce is one of my patterns. Go. And scissors. There they are. So any questions on the borders or anything else that we've done today? Sewing rows together, sewing the border, so the first border that's part of the pattern. Anything else that you can think of that that's popped up in your brains and been like, oh yes, what about this thing? What about this thing? And if people really like all of these foundation paper piecing patterns, I may do this again for St. Jude in May. No questions? You guys are good? Man, you guys are easy. I like it when you guys are easy. Oh. Hey, I remembered this time. Yes, we've already talked about that, Anrield. We've already talked about that. That I'm sewing over the pins. I gave up. You left for a bit, didn't you? Because we talked about that. Okay, so I need to send the Zoom link for tomorrow night. I may as well just go ahead and make the Zoom link for Saturday. And download and send that out. And if I got any more registrations, I can add them. So Rosalind, I'm going to try to send it out tonight. I've got to send the letter to Miss Elving. I think that's everything I've got to do tonight. It's always Renee's fault. It's always Renee's fault. Are you guys playing Final Fantasy with me Sunday night? I know Renee popped into the Discord and said he was having issues and then left again, so we didn't play. Oh, and if you weren't here last week, whenever I was talking about the delay, I figured out why there is a larger delay on YouTube than there is on Twitch for the live delay. Twitch has got about a 3-second. YouTube's got about a 10-second. It's because of YouTube's integrated closed captioning system. So because they have the integrated closed captioning system, it has to have a bigger delay so the closed captioning can catch what I'm saying. If I turned off closed captions, it wouldn't do it. It wouldn't. If I turned off closed captions, it would have a shorter delay. However, I want closed captions on. Oh, that's awesome, Scott. All right, we're gonna take this back over here. Oh, we're so close. You know what? I think I'm going to explain the borders and talk about it, but not actually put borders on. And then I'll leave it like I normally do for my patterns. But then I will talk about it if you want to add additional borders, what to do. So then that way, if there's anyone making this quilt, if you want to add extra borders on, you'll know how to do it. And then I'll also have it in the video. And there it is. So let me show you over here so you can see in the small panel how nice that looks with that extra border added on all the way around. It really finishes it off just like a picture frame does. So now at this point you have two decisions. You're either finished or you want to add another border. Now, I do have a video, if you're watching the condensed version, I've linked it down below, like I said, all about borders. So if you want to add extra borders, it teaches you all that stuff as well. But I am going to do a quick refresher now. I'm not going to super deep dive into it, but so make sure if you really want to understand borders, watch that video. But at this point, now what we need to do is we need to audition fabrics. So instead of going back and grabbing all of my fabrics, what I like to do is I like to fold all of my quilt so that I can see all the colors that are in here. So now I can see all the basic colors that are in this quilt right here. Then I go back to my scraps and I go to my solid pieces. And we figure out, okay, well, what looks good as a secondary border? And I slip it underneath. So we figure out what color do I want for that border all the way around. Nope, I don't want another one of those. Oh, there's a green. And then we can see, oops. Yeah, let me do that. There we go. We can see what looks best. And then the gold. So you can look at it and go, oh, you know what? That black really looks nice. But that green would make a really good secondary board. The blue, because really in the entire quilt, that is the only blue. The blue would also look good. I wouldn't do the gray. I wouldn't do the tan for this one, just because it blends in too much. Remember rule number 1, we want to think about contrasting. We want to think about how fabric looks against other fabric, and we want to have a good, large contrast. So I would really do either of those. The gold, I think, may be too much, but you never know. You might like that. Now, let's say once you decide. So let's say I decide on this blue. Okay? Well, let me calculate how much I would need. Okay, so you're going to take all that aside. Okay, so for the blue, all right, remember, this right here was a 2-inch border, meaning if we take off our seam allowance, this is a 1.5-inch finished border. So borders should be relative to each other. What that means, this is a 1.5-inch finished. I can either do another 1.5-inch finished, and that's what it's going to look like. So at this point, I audition how big it's going to be. So I've got the 1.5-inch, or let me cut this off just a little bit. There we go. Or I could do a 3-inch border. So if you want a wider border in order to really frame that, I could do a 3-inch. I could do a 6-inch border. If I really want to have a nice thick border with 2 C's all the way around, maybe a 6-inch border. So decide how big of a border you want. Then you do the math. From that, now remember, if I want a 3-inch border, I'm going to be cutting my strips 3.5 inches. If I want a 6-inch border, I'm going to be cutting them 6.5 inches. Because we have to add on those extra seam allowances. So then we're going to measure our quilt. So we're going to take this quilt, fold it in half, measure it. Then we're going to take it and fold it in half this way and measure it and figure out exactly how much. Now, remember what I just said. I have figured this out, so you may not have to do, so this way, put it on here. So you may have to do 2 strips down here instead of 1.5 strips on the right and the left, but for that first border of the top and the bottom, no matter how thick it is, if you put along the top and the bottom, you only need a single strip. That's why I laid these patterns out the way that I did. So let's say if we do a 6-inch strip, I'm gonna cut 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to start with. I'm gonna put a border on the top. I'm gonna put a border on the bottom. I'm then going to sew it, iron it, come back, trim it, and then measure it. So we always, when we're doing our math, assume our strips are 40 inches wide. Whether it's 42, 43, 44, we always assume the length is going to be 40 inches, just for easy math. And then we're going to take this and fold this in half. If it's more than 60 inches, we're going to need 2 strips. So I have to cut another strip for the left and the right. If it's under 60 inches tall, great. I can use my strip and a half that I did for the first set of borders. So hopefully that all makes sense. If not, watch the border video and it gets into it in a little bit more detail, a little bit more depth. But like I said, if you're not adding extra borders, you're done. And that's it. There is our God of Mischief. Uh-oh. Okay, alright, that scared me for a second. I looked in the bottom right and I saw those 2 dots, and then I had to look at my quilt in the upper left-hand corner and be like, wait, is that how it's supposed to be? Yes, that's how it's supposed to be. That is all how it's supposed to be. I did not flip any pieces. I did not make any mistakes. As much as I look at it, I'm like, wait, did I make... No, nope, that's right, that's all right. And that's your God of Mischief. So, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you learned how to make a pixel quilt, more specifically, my God of Mischief, based off of Loki. Don't forget to like this video, follow my YouTube, as well as Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, my Quite Nerdy Quilters Facebook group, all the things. Just all the things. You like how I did the ending? You like how I popped that on there at the very end, so I didn't have to worry about doing that later? Would I add rhinestone bling before? Oh, Catherine, that is a fantastic question. If you add the rhinestone bling on, I would add it after quilting. So if you you can, as long. Okay. All right, you ready to be sick for a minute? Here, I'm gonna move it now. Don't look at the camera in the upper right hand corner. We're gonna look at this. We're gonna do a close up of this. Oops. Here. There we go. There we go. Yeah! Look at that one! Alright, so here's the close-up of the bling. As you can see, where's my finger? There's my finger. There it is. So as you can see, there's some places where the bling is on top of the actual stitching. There's some places where it's on top of the crease, like right here. And there's some places where it's just on there. You notice how I'm taking my fingers? I'm actually trying to pull that off with my fingers. The nice thing about bling, especially the rhinestone genie bling, this is not coming off. No matter what. That's on there forever. Actually, 5 ever. Because, you know, it's more than forever. So, if you do the bling first, then whenever you're doing your quilting, you have to worry about that bling. And if you hit the bling, you could break your needle, you could break the bling, you could damage the quilt. Always, 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 if you decide to put bling on it, put it on afterwards. So hopefully that helps. Hopefully that makes sense. Any other questions? Any other last minute questions on things? Now, I am going to finish up editing this video tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday, and then I will put this up on Monday for the condensed version of this quilt, so that you guys can all see this. So if you need to go back and rewatch anything in a condensed format, I am going to have all the timestamps. I'm going to have all that together. You can go back and rewatch it. So that will be available this upcoming Monday, just in time to finish it off next week for the big giveaway next Thursday. I'm very excited. I'm very, very excited. So any other questions? Anything else? Just in case, while I'm waiting to make sure there's no other questions, if you didn't see it, this was the little 6-inch block for the foundation paper piecing. Oh, that's what I was going to do. Let's see if we got any other Tiltify donations. I don't think we did. No, we didn't get any Tiltify donations for Able Gamers while we were streaming today. But that's okay. That's what I was double checking. And that's perfectly okay. So I will be doing this. We'll be giving away this pattern. I have my testers are actually taking a look at it right now. And then I will be doing another pattern tomorrow. I'll send to my testers as well. And yeah, seriously, if you donate $2, you're going to get all these patterns. I'm not just going to give them away. I decided I'm not just going to give them away for the random giveaways. I'm just going to do that. I'm just going to, you know, to give them to everyone. Because why not? Why not? Right? Okay. Well, if there's no other questions, we're going to call it a strim. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Thank you so much for watching. And that is the God of Mischief. That is our Loki quilt along. I'm very excited. So I'm going to go through and I'm actually going to go make those posts right now. So as soon as you finish your quilt top, you can go and post it. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I will see you tomorrow on Twitch from 1 to 4 and then Saturday at 2 o'clock on Twitch for our big race. If you want to race, if you haven't signed up yet, take a look at my website, Quiltoni.com, and there is a tab all about this race, and you can go ahead and sign up for it. And Tiffany Witcher is going to be our host. I'm really excited for it. And then next Thursday, we're going to pick our winners for this quilt along, and then I'm going to teach you what to do with all those scraps. We're going to see if we can sew them all together for a backing. Like, that's going to be fun. So, thank you guys. I will see you later. Thank you so much for being here.